الله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الناس إنا خلقناكم من ذكر وأنثى وجعلناكم شعوبا وقبائل لتعارفوا إن أكرمكم عند الله أتقاكم إن الله عليم خبير. صدق الله العظيم.
So I'm going to read the English translation of the verses that were just recited. In the name of God, the Lord of mercy and the giver of mercy. People, be mindful of your Lord, who created you from a single soul, and from it created its mates, and from the pair of them spreaded countless men and women far and wide. Be mindful of God, in whose name you make requests from one another. Beware of serving ties of kinship. God is always watching over you. The second verse that was recited was, people, we created you all from single men and single women, and made you into races and tribes. So that you should get to know one another. In God's eyes, the most honorable of you is the one most mindful of him. God is all-knowing, all-aware.
Thank you. Now I'll have Dr. Khalid Khan Sadusi, President of Islamic Society of Greater Worcester, to please take over from here. Thank you. Dr. Khalid Sadusi.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. As Tahir mentioned, my name is Khalid Sadusi. I am the President of Islamic Society of Greater Worcester. And on behalf of the Muslim community in the Greater Worcester area, I welcome Honorable Congressman Jim McGovern, members of our interfaith community, members of Pakistan Associations of Physicians, member of the press, and all my fellow citizens who have taken time from their busy schedule and has joined us here this afternoon. We are gathered here to condemn the heinous crime of San Bernardino, to condemn this act of violence, pray for the departed souls and the quick recovery of those who are wounded, and healing for and the healing of all our citizens. We stand in solidarity with our fellow citizens and the families of the victim and pray for their healing. Thank you for all coming here, and I will request Dr. Mansoor Khan, who is an entrepreneur and a long-time member of Islamic Society of Greater Worcester and the citizens of Worcester County, to take from here.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's truly a pleasure to see all of our friends here. As I was talking to a couple of people, I have a prepared statement on behalf of the Islamic community of Central Massachusetts. But before that...
Louder!
Is that better?
Yes.
No, okay. So I have a prepared statement. I'm going to read that, but I just wanted, before I did that, to thank everybody for taking the time to come out here on this day. Thankfully, it's warmer than usual. But as I was talking to a couple of people, it occurred to me, what makes this country great is not the military might or the wealth that we have, but it's the Constitution and the people and the values that we all share. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much for coming out here. And I'm going to be mostly reading, so I'll be looking down most of the time. We have gathered here to pay our respects to our fellow Americans taken from their families and loved ones in the tragic incident in San Bernardino, California, and in all recent tragedies, and to condemn all such acts and the people who commit them. The victims in California were honorable people who served their country, their state, their communities, and who were with their comrades even in the last moments of their life, celebrating the holidays. They were tragically murdered by a co-worker who apparently had taken the dark path of radicalization. We're at a loss for words to console the families of these brave men and women of all ethnic backgrounds. They were white, black, Latinos, Asians, immigrants and American-born, moms, dads, daughters and sons, all part of our American family. America, as we know, is a land of immigrants, and Muslims that have been arriving here in meaningful numbers since about the early 70s come from 69 different countries, approximately. We are black, white, brown. We are taxi drivers and professors and doctors and business owners. We are from many different races and have dozens of ethnicities and speak many different languages. We come from all economic strata, but the one thing we have in common is that we have chosen to call this great country home and sworn to uphold its constitution. We did so because of the tremendous freedom, rule of law, and the resulting economic opportunity that it offers. I'll tell you about a couple of stories you can think of a couple of people that I know who came here and you know how they sort of went through the process and got to where they are today. One person, and I personally know of many such cases, who came here as a teenager at the end of the 70s with one suitcase, $1,000, and a dream. He managed to get into college and help pay for it by picking up trash and cleaning bathrooms, then graduating to working in the campus cafeterias, earning $1.45 an hour. That, by the way, was what the minimum wage that was paid in Alabama in the early 80s. He made that work by learning how to live on about $1 a day for food. He eventually went to graduate school and then found a job that would help him get a work visa and then eventually a green card. In his professional life, he has since started 3 companies that have created hundreds of high-paying jobs here in Massachusetts. I know another person who also came here, instead of going to school, managed to scrape enough money to buy a gas station. He now owns 3 small businesses, leads a wonderful life here, and has built a small free health clinic back in the country that he came from. So it's not just all the things that they're doing here, but the benefits that flow from that out into the greater world. While we come from diverse backgrounds, have taken different paths here in America, the traits we all share are hard work, love of family, and a love for and a thankfulness to America. We Muslims, like all American citizens, love the United States, the values it stands for, and the American dream. But these are testing times. The United States was challenged with a colossal loss of lives on 9/11, but our resolve and refusal to be terrorized has been and will remain firm. As Muslims, we condemn this and all these other horrific acts since then, and all such acts around the world. There is no place in Islam for such acts and for these people. Time demands us Americans of all faiths to get together and defeat the terrorist threat once and for all. This great land of ours is here in its glory. That was the best part. This great land of here is here in its glory and strength, and has gotten here through the sacrifice of hundreds of thousands of men and women over the last over 200 years. The United States has held the highest moral ground in defending the freedom of people of any religion or race for over a century now. We have to make it even stronger by upholding its civic values, liberty, and the freedom of religion and the rule of law. Terrorism has no religion, face, or value. It has a dark agenda and is made up of thugs and killers. The freedom that we in the United States and the West have inspires people of all colors and creeds around the world. It is above religion, race, or ethnicity. The glowing beauty of America and its magnificent future cannot be destroyed by a few killers, and we will not be terrorized. Let's work together to help each other. Thank you. Let's work together to help each other and our government destroy, whether it's called ISIL, ISIS, Al-Qaeda, or whatever else form it takes, any terrorist organization that threatens our culture and freedom. And let's pray for the departed souls of the brave men and women, and for their families in this hour of grief. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Wilson. And And now I will request Dr. Yasser Najjar, who is the Dean of Graduate Studies and the President of Worcester Islamic Center, to please take the talk.
Good afternoon, my fellow citizens. I thought Brother Mansour was really talking about me. I came with one bag and $1,000 in my pocket. And now I'm the Dean of Graduate Studies at Framingham State University. Wow. I have been living in this community since 1987, and I raised 8 wonderful children here. So they are from here, they came to stay here, they belong to here. In addition to condemn all act of terrorism and all act of heinous crimes against civilians, against humanity, also I'm really here to share with you that we have to stand in protecting the constitution of our country and protecting the values of our countries, because 99% of us came from somewhere. We immigrated to this land looking for freedom, looking for human rights, looking for democracy, looking for dignity. That's why our grandfathers who came the first wave, they created a wonderful, great constitution which respect the dignity of a human being. So we came here to become Americans, and we are Americans with the faith of Islam. As much as we have our American fellows, they are Americans with other faiths. And there's no contradiction between all faiths if we look at the similarities. I can guarantee, and we approve that through the interfaith activities we have been participating in Greater Worcester area, that 96% of the teachings of our religions, all religions, the Abrahamic as well as others, similar. The difference only 4% due to human interpretations. So we are human, we can create unity and we can create divergence. So we are here gathering together in the city of Worcester with our wonderful congressman who has a wonderful record in supporting human rights, in supporting the Constitution. So we ought to support politicians like him. It is time to say no to the new naive politicians who lack education and they lack knowledge and they're looking for what is called excitement. They throw some sentences here and there and they don't know that they are destroying and attacking our America and our Constitution. So my fellow Americans, the more we put our hands together, the more we realize and accept and support diversity and inclusion, the more peaceful we will be. And the more uneducated people from different sources, from different faiths, from different origins, they spread hatred that will make some young people angry. And maybe that anger, one of the roots of heinous crimes, and we have to stand against that. So terrorism is ugly, radicalism is ugly, it's a destruction, and I hope we walk today hand by hand, protecting our city, protecting our state, protecting our country, and protecting the Constitution of the United States of America. And thank you for your listening.
Thank you, Yasser. And now I will request our Honorable Congressman Jim McGovern to please come and address this again.
Thank you very much. First, I want to thank the Islamic Society of Greater Worcester and all those who put this gathering here together. Thank you for doing this. This is important. And I want to thank all the faith-based leaders who are here, representing, I think, every faith imaginable is gathered here today, and all members of our community. It is important that we gather in forums like this because it demonstrates that we all are brothers and sisters. And we speak with one voice when we say we condemn the terrible violence, not only of San Bernardino and of Paris and so many other places all across this world where people have lost their lives as a result of terrorist attacks and terrorist killings. But it is also important, as has been said by the previous speakers, that as we push back and as we fight terrorism, that we not lose who we are as a country, we not lose our conscience, we not lose our soul in this process. This is the United States of America. We have freedom of religion in this country, and we are grateful for that. And we should never give in to these voices of intolerance and these voices that now seem to be rising in our political discussion. Voices of intolerance, voices of hatred, and let's be honest, voices of ignorance. And it's important that we all understand that we have an obligation during times like this, not just to be silent and just figure that it will all just pass by. These are moments when it's important for us to raise our voices and for us to call some of this hate speak for what it really is. Because, quite frankly, what happens during these difficult times is that our politics gets distorted, and then as a result, you see stupid things happen in Washington, like happened a couple of weeks ago when the House of Representatives voted basically to end the refugee resettlement program for Syrian and Iraqi refugees. What a disservice to this country. What a disservice to the great traditions of this country to have passed a bill like that. But it is important that our voices be heard so that those kinds of things don't happen again, and that we overturn some of the damage that has already been done. So I would just close by saying that, you know, being here today and looking out at everybody here, I feel a great sense of hope. This is a beautiful display here in front of the City Hall today. And I thank you so much for being here and for being counted. And I believe that when like-minded people get together, we can create a better, more tolerant, less violent, more hopeful world. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Oh, here I am again. But I'm really, here's Ahmad Rivera here. He's from the representing Senator Ed Markey. Is he here? I told him to come early so he won't have a parking spot otherwise. Well, we'll move on. Thank you.
Thank you, Tahir. Now I will request Dr. Amjad Banasi, who is a psychiatrist in the Worcester area, to just please come and talk to the public.
And I am not representing Senator. My name is Amjad Banasi. I'm actually the other person Mansour was mentioning, because I came in here to this city at age 22. I'm 56 years old now. And I know you're all thinking that I'm 28, but no, I'm 56 years old. And I love this city. That's why I consider this is my hometown. That's where I'm from, and that's where I service the people of the city. Muna, right there, has a sign. That actually the sign is the truth. Muslims, your partners in peace. Please be aware that we need you and we need your help. Please be aware that Muslims are the major victim of radicalism and terrorism. Most people don't know that, but it is the fact. When you go to Syria and Iraq, more people died of ISIS than anything you can kill Muslims are. When you go to Pakistan, you see what happened in Peshawar, killing those innocent children. That's all terrorism. So we, like you, into this together. And unless we put our hands together, we cannot defeat them. I always say it is like when you have a cancer in your liver. You need to remove that cancer, but do not remove the liver. You need your liver. Your liver is going to protect you and protect your body from the toxin. You need the hormones. So let's put our hands together to remove that cancer and get a healthy body for all of us. Thank you.
We always have problem with the sound systems. It is rented. Now I will request Dr. Salim Khanani, who is the chairman of our Interfaith Dialogues and Interfaith Committee, to please come and talk to the crowd. Thank you.
They say the last speaker is usually the best one, but I'm not the last one. I was not going to say anything personal, but I must say that my psychiatrist friend tried to steal my job. I'm the cancer specialist. And I did not come with $1,000 in my pocket. I came with $2,000, so I was richer than them. But I also had a wife who's here and 2 little children. And by the time I got my first paycheck, my $2,000 were all gone. I must also start out by saying that having been here for the almost quarter of a century, the people who really helped me establish myself here were Christians and Jews. And they still remain my friend 25 years down the road. So I thank all of them without mentioning anybody. My job in our community has been to try and build bridges with people of all faith. God addresses human beings as children of Adam. He is the God of the Jews, the Christians, the Hindus, the Buddhists, the Muslims. He's everyone's God. He does not discriminate, so who are we to discriminate? In the Quran, he mentions that لَقَدْ قَرَمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ. We have honored the children of Adam. So every human being deserves respect and honor. We, the members of the Islamic community of Central Massachusetts, share the unspeakable grief and the immeasurable loss of the families and friends of the 14 innocent human beings whose lives that could have been very productive were cut short in the recent crime against humanity. It was not a crime against 14 individuals. It was not a crime against the United States. It was a crime against humanity. May their fond memories continue to brighten the lives of all those touched by them. May we all deeply treasure them. May we all deeply treasure them in our hearts and thank them for everything they gave to us. May their families and friends find time and space to help through God's grace and mercy. In trying to build bridges, we have also focused on educating ourselves, and especially our younger generation, about the common values that we all share at a human level. The values of morality, ethics, good behavior, manners, and above all, tolerance of everybody. We have been really blessed that in our endeavor over the last several years, we have found some very productive partnerships. And I will mention some of them, and I will request some of them to come and speak as well. Congregation Beth Israel, Ellen Harris is over here, and their Rabbi Feldman is also here, so she will come and talk. Rabbi Valerie Cohen from Temple Emmanuel Sinai is here, and then John Savard, director of the Jesuit community at the Holy Cross. I'll be inviting them one by one. There's someone who's not here, Jared Albach, who's from the Protestant Church. He's a very young and energetic guy, and he has been very, very helpful in establishing a dialogue between the Muslims and the Christians. So I really thank all of them from the depth of my heart. So I'll first invite Rabbi Feldman to come here and say a few words.